KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson, celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus Hyundai, home of the Kona electric vehicle, an electric heart with an SUV soul. Test drive yours today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on Primetime, land back or not? Original landowners await answers from the administration. Plus, Guam is no longer a high-risk travel destination, and lawmakers discuss a measure that would legalize gun silencers on Guam. Hafa and good evening, everyone. I'm Hannah Devonzo, and thanks for tuning in to your news leader. Land back, will original landowners get theirs, or is the administration going around the land return process in order to build the billion-dollar healthcare complex where the governor wants it? Here's more.
Speaker Torres calling out the administration and calling on Governor Lulian Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio to make original landowners part of the billion-dollar health care complex conversation. Speaker Terlahi saying Adelup is ignoring local law, which mandates excess lands returned to Gov Guam from the military be given back to original landowners. And if that land is not given back, then Gov Guam must compensate them. The speaker saying Adelup is using a lease loophole that could leave original landowners out in the cold, and even though the military has indicated in writing it's planning to outright return 100 acres of land at Eagles Field to Gov Guam, that's not what the governor's office is saying.
And say straight out, no, the land's not being returned. We're going to lease it. And this is what I'm telling you. It's mind-boggling when we have a letter from the Navy saying we are willing to return 100 acres. And this is a change.
A January 2021 letter from Navy Secretary Kenneth Braithwaite to the governor reads, quote, I am pleased to now identify the DOD parcel for the medical complex and add it to the parcels eligible for return to the territory of Guam. Former Joint Region Marianas head Rear Admiral John Manoni, also in a January letter to the governor, said he was forwarding the Navy Secretary's, quote, commitment to a land transfer for the medical complex. Now, even with this in black and white, Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio still seemed unclear on whether Gov Guam was getting the land back or leasing it.
In terms of a return, the only issue is whether or not the federal government will allow it to be returned, or are they only interested in providing a license? And I think those are all things that we'll take a look at as time goes on.
But the Secretary of Navy says he's going to return it. It should get returned. And then we can deal with it as the government of Guam, right? And we can take care of the landowners. And we have methods of taking care of the landowners.
Speaker Terlahi said the administration saying it will lease the land the billion-dollar healthcare complex will be built on is just a clever way of keeping original landowners out of the picture.
And what we're looking at is an executive branch who is making a negotiation, and from what we can gather together, they're making a negotiation that bypasses this policy, this law that's in place, and it completely bypasses these landowners.
And when it comes to compensation, the governor has previously given her 2 cents on it.
I have not gotten any response from the original landowners, but my research says that the owners of that property have already been compensated.
In contrast, the question of compensation isn't a done deal for Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio.
It's a complicated thing, original landowners and their claims are. And I think for me, I'm always trying to find out and get a good update exactly which of the landowners are affected, what the level of compensation, if any. If there's no compensation, I think as a government, it is our obligation to try and make sure that compensation is there.
Following 2 legislative hearings this year where original landowners emotionally voiced their concerns, the Lieutenant Governor says at some point the administration will meet with them.
But I do think that in the future I see big engagement with the private landowners and just really trying to piece together exactly what's the situation.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has officially removed Guam from its list of international countries where travel should be avoided, as the risk for COVID-19 is very high. The change was made on the agency's website today. Last week, the Guam Visitors Bureau was informed by the CDC that the removal was forthcoming and that Guam would be considered domestic travel. At the time, Acting Governor Josh Tenorio welcomed the news as it aligns Guam with the stateside counterparts. He added that this better positions the island for reopening to tourism markets sooner. The team from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is now in its final stages of their dead on arrival investigation. Daniel Perez reports.
The CDC team on island has been working closely with Public Health's territorial epidemiologist, Dr. Ann Pobutsky, to determine the cause of the island's DOA cases. Public Health PIO, Janella Carrera.
They were, of course, looking at all of our cases, not just the dead on arrival cases, but all the incident rates, comorbidity data. They were looking at a lot of the underlying health conditions within our population, conducting interviews with the families where the dead on arrival cases were happening.
In order for the CDC team to get a better understanding of the high DOA rate,
they had meetings with the hospitals, of course, and then also meetings with our laboratory, our public health laboratory. And then, of course, all the numbers that they were reviewing and then putting all of that together. So it's been a very busy, few weeks for them as they were here. And then, of course, now having to finalize all of the reports and putting it all together.
Carrera added that all the reports and data collected by the CDC team hasn't been finalized yet, but they are in their final stages of their investigation. Public Health has also put in a request to extend the stay of the CDC team. As for travel restrictions,
right now, our travel guidance, our quarantine protocol is still the same. It has not changed. However, we are reviewing it to see if any changes are necessary. And so if any changes are necessary or deemed necessary, of course, then and if there is a need for it, then we will make those changes and announce them.
The current travel restrictions state that if you want to bypass quarantine, you must be fully vaccinated with either a WHO or FDA approved vaccine, or have a negative PCR test within 3 days of arrival, or an antigen test within 1 day of arrival. Daniel Perez reporting for Guam's News Network.
As scientists continue to study the new Omicron variant, states and cities in the U.S. are taking bold action to slow the spread of the current dominant COVID-19 strain. Skylar Henry reports.
We are not going back to what happened in 2020.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is now expanding the city's vaccine mandate, requiring all private sector employees to get the shot.
This is how we put health and safety first, by ensuring that there is a vaccine mandate that reaches everyone universally.
The first in-the-nation mandate is set to take effect in just 3 weeks. It includes new guidelines requiring children between ages of 5 to 11 show proof of vaccination for indoor dining, fitness, and entertainment venues.
So long as they've gotten that first dose by December 14th, they can continue to participate, indoor dining, entertainment, all of these great things.
Beginning today, the Biden administration is now requiring travelers coming to the U.S. to present a negative COVID test 24 hours before they land here, regardless of nationality or vaccination status.
Now we're like, well, do we wait? Do we do our test today? Do we do it tomorrow?
While the Delta strain of COVID-19 remains dominant, several mild cases of the Omicron variant have popped up in more than a dozen states.
We really got to be careful before we make any determinations that it is less severe or really doesn't cause any severe illness comparable to Delta.
While scientists say there is still much to learn about Omicron, early indications out of South Africa, where it was first identified, show being vaccinated and boosted are the best defense. Skylar Henry reporting for KUAM News.
And a small study released on Sunday found that people who initially received Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine got a strong immune response after getting Johnson & Johnson's booster shot. NMI Governor Ralph Torres taking to Facebook with a second video addressing allegations waged by a House committee investigating him. It's unclear if he'll give time, though, after he was subpoenaed to appear on Friday.
CNMI Governor Ralph Torres taking to Facebook with his second video in a series responding to the allegations by the House committee investigating him. This time he comments on several boating trips called into question. One trip in particular was to the Northern Islands with content creator Rob Arrington behind the YouTube channel Deer Meat for Dinner.
This is just an additional program that we brought up Deer Meat for Dinner up to the Northern Islands. Seriously, and to promote the Northern Islands. This is something for all of us to be proud of.
He says the government boats were used to provide safety.
Deer Meat for Dinner was not compensated and has not been compensated by the CNMI government. All he asked was to be brought up to the Northern Island. That's it. And we spent less than $70,000 to accommodate him, while he spent over $100,000 of his own money to bring his crew, his family, equipment, and so forth.
He says no federal programs took issue and the mayor of the Northern Island supported the trip. But what about trips alleged to be recreational to Managaha, Tinian, and Rota?
I have not once ever used any federal funding vessel, DPS vessel, for any recreation purposes. I've never fished on them. Absolutely no party boats, Gary, and it's just protection for the family.
He says he's never asked boating safety for protection, but when he does take his personal boat off island or for fishing, they're there in case of an emergency. But what about his family?
The CNMI law provides safety for my family. Using the boat is for safety reasons.
Tomas Manglotnya for KUAM News on Saipan.
Should gun silencers be legalized on Guam? A bill to allow for the licensing of firearm sound suppressors was moved to the voting file during sessions Monday, but not without some vocal opposition. Nestor Lecanto reports.
The measure was introduced by Senator Tony Atta. Its purpose, he said, was to make training with firearms safer by reducing the sound of a gunshot by 15 to 30 decibels. He says for gun owners, every decibel counts.
When you're constantly out there in the firing range, even if you're wearing hearing protection, a reduced gunfire helps protect your hearing.
Atta says it's not true that silencers blunt the sound of a gunshot so you can't hear it. And he adds that it's also a myth that it enables criminals.
Based on reports from the U.S. Justice Department from 2011 to 2019, there are 1.3 million suppressors in circulation in the United States, with only 16 instances of criminal use since 2011.
But opposition came from Senators Talina Nelson and Speaker Torres Terlahi. Nelson brought up a recent viral video where a man was brandishing a rifle in an apparent dispute with neighbors.
I support the Second Amendment. I support the right to bear arms, but we need to do a better job at making proper safety measures before we move forward with this type of legislation. If someone has the will to pull out a firearm in a residential zone, pointing their firearm at other individuals within the residential area, then we have an issue here. If you're really truly out there for the sport and for the passion, you don't need a firearm suppressor, you just put on earplugs.
The loud and distinctive noise of a gunshot is important in protecting our community against gunshots. It's what alerts us to the realization that we may need to run, hide, or protect others. It is what alerts law enforcement.
Senator Sabina Perez attempted to amend the bill to restrict the use of silencers to law enforcement training, but it was voted down.
Once again, here we are trying to keep our law-abiding citizens from availing themselves of this hearing protection. Madam Speaker, I think what we fail to understand is that anyone with a criminal intent will do everything they can to circumvent law, and they will find a way to avail themselves of a suppressor.
The bill was moved to the third reading file for later voting. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
The legislature passed a resolution today expressing its support for amendments to the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act that would include so-called downwinders from Guam. These are local residents who suffered downwind exposure from U.S. atomic testing in the Marshalls back in the 1940s and 50s. Speaking today on The Link Show, Pacific Association for Radiation Survivors President Robert Celestial said they wanted to submit the resolution ahead of a U.S. House committee markup meeting on Wednesday. The RECA Act amendment also seeks to increase restitution from $50,000 to $150,000.
I'm really happy that it's gotten this far. This is the first time it's gone up for markup, and hopefully 538 gets on the floor, and I know that it will get passed. I think that once it gets to the Senate, then we're working hard right now with the Senate. We've worked really hard with the House, and we got this far.
Celestial says they only have about 7 months left before the RECA program ends. Before we head to the break, KUAM and Coast 360 throughout the month of December share Making Spirits Bright. We want to see videos and pictures of your Christmas tree decoration and holiday photos. Make sure to use the hashtag Making Spirits Bright Guam on Facebook and Instagram. Check out these images submitted by the Leon Guerrero family in PD.
You love your tree? Yeah. You did such a great job.
Hoffaday. This is Governor Lou Leon Guerrero. If you're struggling to pay rent and utilities because of the pandemic, your government can help. Our Emergency Rental Assistance Program provides direct relief to you. To date, over $6.9 million has helped over 1,500 households.
Apply online at eoa.guam.gov or call the Department of Administration's Emergency Rental Assistance Program at 671-638-4518 or 19.
Home, a place where I can go to take this off my shoulders. Someone take me home.
Home. It's more than wood, square footage, and a floor plan. It's where life happens and moments become etched into memories. At Bank of Hawaii, we're proud to help families all across Guam buy and improve their home. Applying takes just a few moments, but the memories last a lifetime. Simplify by Bank of Hawaii. Welcome to tomorrow.
Our family was recently challenged with a difficult medical condition where my son needed a liver transplant. And I asked Calvo Select Care to assist me with that, and he required off-island care. In fact, it can only be taken care of off-island. So Calvo Select Care was there to help with all the referrals and the off-island coverage.
Calvo Select Care, healthcare that's always there for you. Federal employees and annuitants, enroll today.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. Tomorrow, the streets will be filled as Guam's faithful await the visit of the historic Santa Marian Camelin, who will be making her island-wide pilgrimage. Standing by with a live report from the cathedral where Mass just ended is Tyler Matanani.
Hannah, tomorrow
Tomorrow is a huge moment for our island's Catholics as they celebrate the feast of Santa Maria in Kamalan and the solemnity of the Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary. In past years, there would be the traditional procession outside the cathedral here in Hagåtña, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic, this will be the second consecutive year the statue of Santa Maria in Kamalan will tour Guam. Local Catholics are invited to pray outside their homes, churches, and along the roadside as she makes her way throughout the island. We spoke earlier with Father Ron Richards, who detailed the importance of tomorrow's events.
The past 2 years have been filled with fear and uncertainty. With Guam being predominantly Catholic, many turn to the faith for strength. Father Ron Richards recalls last year's procession as we enter into the day of the Immaculate Conception.
The people were so thirsty and hungry for their faith to really be driven in, and the bringing of Our Lady around really, you saw a lot of emotion from people.
The statue of Santa Maria in Kamalan will make her way throughout the island tomorrow, visiting every parish, including the hospitals and the Navy and Air Force Base.
So literally the entire isle, because it's a beautiful thing having her process all around the island into every location.
Father Ron empathized with those that are still weary of joining the Mass and shared the personal responsibility he's learned as a leader of the faith.
Even if the people can't be there, we have a responsibility to reach out to them. And I think as long as that's happening, right, the people still have a sense of their parish.
Hannah, I myself understand the importance of tomorrow's events. I participated in the procession from elementary throughout high school. It's a very meaningful and deeply powerful moment as part of the Catholic community. You can find the details on tomorrow's events on our website at KUAM.com. Reporting from our island's capital, I'm Tyler Matanani. Back to you in studio.
Thank you so much for that report. Once again, that was Tyler reporting live from the heart of Hagåtña. In the United States, ambulances have roughly 6,500 accidents every year, according to a 2014 report done by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Many people do not know what to do when an ambulance approaches.
The Guam Fire Department has run into problems with island residents on the road when responding to a call. Firefighter 2 John Sablon.
In the last couple of months, we've had a couple of collisions. I don't know the exact number, but some of them involving the ambulance, and I think our latest one is involving a rescue unit.
When driving and an emergency vehicle approaches, remember the safety protocols.
When an emergency vehicle is approaching, the first thing they should do is pull to the right, slow down and pull to the right, and give the right of way to the emergency vehicle that's going to be passing. So if you're on the furthest left lane, then you would obviously adjust to the car to your right and actually pull to your right. That's ultimately the goal, is to get the vehicles as far to the right as possible. And also given that, because at times on island we have open center lanes, which could be, if it's open and they do take the turn to the left and block, we end up getting blocked in. And that's actually the lane that we could possibly be taking.
In addition to moving to the right, drivers must also come to a complete stop until the emergency vehicle has passed. A collision with an emergency vehicle is problematic as they are on their way to assist someone in need.
Hawaiian Rock Products has been awarded a contract to repair East Singsong Road from Route 1 to Bumuchachu Street. The project, which will cover 1.2 miles of one of the busiest roads in the village of Dededo, costs almost $6.5 million and is funded by the Federal Highway Administration. Improvements include repaving asphalt, adding friction course, draining maintenance for fresh road signage, reconstruction of sidewalk ramps, detachable warning surfaces in compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. DPDW Director Vince Ariola says he is thankful for the funding, which will ultimately serve all the residents up north. By preserving our heritage, we preserve our people. Tyler Matanani has details on the Guam Preservation Trust Virtual Immersion Program.
Several community members collaborated on a virtual immersion program to provide wider access to education on the island's heritage. The project was led by the Guam Preservation Trust and began with Chamorro language teachers creating stories on historic sites around the island for the classrooms. But as GPT's Joe Kanata elaborates, the effort to preserve the island's culture didn't stop there.
Our musicians turned around and wrote original stories, original melodies, original lyrics about that site.
Cultural dancers then added the choreography element. As Kanata further details, the project expanded well beyond what they intended.
Let's do a virtual field trip. And so we got PBS to come in and got the cast together to have a video. And we have now a virtual field trip, telling the story, listening to the music, and watching the cultural dancers.
The second series was made possible through funding provided by Gita and Guahan Humanities under the CARES Act program. The project was presented at the National Historic Preservation Conference to encourage others to take a similar approach to cultural preservation. The music, virtual field trip, and lesson plans are completely free and available at historiata.org. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
Northern residents have another place to get their caffeine fix in Dededo, near Taco Bell. Island Girl Coffee and Quenches held a ribbon-cutting ceremony this morning for its 4th location. The popular coffee shop first opened in 2011. Along with the tourism industry taking a hit, businesses were also affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Richard Hawes, Chief Executive Officer of Island Girl Coffee, explained what made them expand their business.
We believe in the future of Guam. We know that the tourism is down, but the local, most of our business is local business. For example, we opened actually on November the 1st, and we served 4,600 local customers here at the Dededo location. It was a natural move to open in the heart of Guam, and the biggest population area is Dededo, so we felt it was a good time to open here.
Hawes shares what customers can expect from the new location.
They can expect quality products at affordable prices served by beautiful young ladies, and our focus is on delivering high customer service.
All 4 locations operate via drive-through and are open daily from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. With the new location adding 10 more people to their crew, Island Girl Coffee now has 45 employees total, including back office and warehouse. Sports is up next with Dave Delgado. Keep it here. You're watching KUAM.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your 4th meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
Half a day. As we look ahead to a brighter tomorrow, Matson's commitment to Guam and Micronesia remains stronger than ever. While the world around us is ever changing, what remains unchanged is our commitment to you, our customers, and the island communities we serve. Shipping is what we do best, and serving our community is at the heart of everything we do. But we don't do it alone. This is why we support organizations that make caring for the people and the environment a top priority. We know that many count on Matson's lifeline services in the Pacific, and that's why we continue to work hard to ensure that our shipments remain on time all the time. Matson recently added another Aloha-class vessel to our schedule. We now have 2 of Matson's largest and fastest ships serving Guam from the U.S. West Coast and Hawaii. With our new state-of-the-art vessels, we stand ready to support the region's economic recovery. Thank you for the privilege of serving you for the last 25 years, and you can count on Matson to be here for the next 25 years and beyond.
Pizza Hut's Detroit-style pizza is back. Same crispy crust, cheese all the way to the edge, and the sauce still on top. Okay, now I'm hungry. The Detroit-style pizza. Create your own or pick from 3 signature recipes. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
The all-new Hyundai Tucson.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
UOG's baseball tryouts were held at the GW baseball field in Manilao. The Tritons are looking for UOG students, transfer students, and high school seniors wanting to pursue the sport at the collegiate level.
I see a lot of hidden talent. You know, we got a bunch of players coming out of the dorms. They've been here for about a year or so and haven't been out in the baseball scene just yet. So we're here to bridge that, make that happen, get this hidden talent exposed, and get them out there and playing ball like they're passionately and desirably waiting for, man.
The Tritons are still accepting eligible players to try out. UOG will be holding a baseball clinic on December 18th and 19th from 9 to 12 in the afternoon at the GW field, and on December 20th through the 23rd from 4 to 6 p.m. at GW.
As a freshman, looking out to all these players, we have talent, we have what it takes, and we have people who are willing to come out and support. I'm grateful for this opportunity to be able to revamp the program and relive it, as my father was also a part of this program, and I'm just very excited.
I'm glad to see the turnout of everybody that came out this weekend, and we hope that more comes out as the excitement and the word gets out that the UOG program is back. We're trying to bring it back to where it was in the 90s, and we hope that everyone that's interested in playing baseball and attending UOG, go ahead and come out, and we'll be here to help and support you guys and guide you along the way. Two things you're going to accomplish: you're going to go to school, try to earn your degree, and at the same time have fun playing baseball with a group of guys that are aiming for the same goal.
For more info, contact Coach Roque Alcantara Jr. at 671-747-4579. Proof of vaccination will be required. In other news, big shout out to DeAndre Cruz from San Mateo College. Cruz wrapped up his final JUCO football season for the Bulldogs, where he played linebacker. DeAndre battled back from an injury early in the season to take back his starting position and finish the season strong. He got his first Division I scholarship offer from Stony Brook University in New York. The 2018 FD graduate went from playing running back to the linebacker position. Congrats. We'll keep you posted on his final decision.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Building on the past, we at Docomo Pacific Business believe in helping businesses move forward and together, changing the way we get things done to make you and your company reach your highest potential. Trust in our commitment to bring you the best solutions for all your business goals. We are Docomo Pacific Business. Let's work better together.
Mobile offers a new and convenient way to fuel your vehicle. Pay gas and go. No need to line up inside the store. Press preset. Enter whole dollar amount without decimals. Press Loyalty ID and enter your mobile number or insert Smiles card. Insert and remove payment card or tap contactless credit card. Begin fueling. And don't forget to grab your receipt. Pay gas and go. It's that easy.
And there you have it, McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich. From the makers of the world's most stolen fries. The juicy chicken sandwich from the place that offers extra napkins for a reason. The tender chicken sandwich from the creators of a sandwich phenomenon. So you won't just be biting into a chicken sandwich. You'll be biting into McDonald's new crispy, juicy, tender chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
It is most assuredly a happy birthday on this Tuesday, December 7th for Anastasia Chong Onkanko, who celebrates birthday number 24 this year, the big 2-4. Happy birthday to my beautiful firstborn, your shout-out says. My love for you is never ending. Aw. And our memories we shared will remain cherished no matter how old you get. You are always in our hearts, say Mommy, Junior, Matthew, Jace, Jude, Arya, Ariel, Manuel, Amelia, and Thomas. So Anastasia, we hope you have a beautiful, wonderful birthday and celebrate your 24th this year because today is all about you.
That's going to do it for us here on Primetime. I'm Hannah Devonzo. Thanks for watching and good night.
Howdy everybody, I'm Sabrina Salas-Matsanani. Welcome to Health, Home, and Lifestyle. Recruitment is ongoing for a study to understand why Pacific Islanders have high levels of a compound linked to gout. Here's Tyler Matsanani with Health Check.
Health Check is presented by